As many of you know, my office is here in the train station. I'm actually right next door in the clock tower, and great views of the city. Every morning I walk in, I can see what's going on. And as many of you also know, I tend to pace a lot when I talk on the telephone. And one thing I find interesting is when I walk around and I talk on the telephone, I can really see all four directions from my office out the window, and I'm up high. And one thing I'm very excited about is the fact that when I walk around and look out those windows, every window I look out of, I'm seeing cranes, I'm seeing construction, I'm seeing new buildings go up, and I'm seeing other buildings being fixed, whether it's office, whether it's retail, whether it's residential. There's something going on in every different sector of the city that I can see from this tower. And that's really a visible sign of the economic growth that we're seeing here in this city. And it's a sign that we're doing it the right way. The fact that I can see the residential, that I can see the office, that I can see the retail, it's all blended in and all mixed in. That's what Richmond needs. It needs that mix of economic growth. One of the goals and one of the things the mayor stated to me when I came on board 2 years ago was that we want a comprehensive approach to economic development. We want people to live in the same neighborhood they work. We want people to eat, play, shop in the same neighborhoods where they work and live. And we're seeing that going on right now. We're seeing not just development, but a good mix of development for different types of uses, for different types of incomes, for different types of destinations. And that's really what we want, is a comprehensive approach to improving our neighborhoods while at the same time promoting jobs and promoting growth. And they feed off of each other because our healthy neighborhoods are what attract that business growth. And the business growth and the tax revenue spun off, that's what gives us the funds to go back out and improve our neighborhoods. But to do all this, we've got to have tools. The developers, are out there doing this work, and the city needs to have tools to be a partner with you and to get down on the ground floor and start doing this economic development. So we begin building tools, and with the Mayor's Office of Economic and Community Development, we wanted to build a robust toolbox to get these jobs done, and that's what we've done. And so we're here today to talk a little bit about the Economic Development Revolving Loan Fund, about $20 million that's in our toolbox to help you do what you do. And I won't stand up here too much. I'll let the experts get up here and tell you all about it. But I did want to invite up next to talk the city's #1 economic development professional, Mayor Dwight C. Jones.
Thank you, Lee. I had that title, but I'm glad to accept it because we recognize the importance of economic development in the city of Richmond. We want to thank you for coming out today because we look forward to being able to collaborate with you as we continue to build a better Richmond. And basically what we've invited you today to hear is that we have about $20 million in HUD 108 funds that we would like to provide for gap financing to help projects close the gap and get over the line in terms of getting them finished. And I think that this is important because it says that we're in partnership, that we recognize that government cannot do this all by itself, and we recognize that we need public-private partnerships in order to build a robust and energetic city of Richmond. All of you in this room, many of you are responsible for the surge in development that we see throughout the city. There is a vibe in the city of Richmond that we're on the cusp of great things. The city is growing, the city is abuzz, it's alive. Our best days are in front of us and not behind us. And we recognize the need to keep this going with robust development. We recognize that we have a problem with poverty in the city of Richmond. 1 in 4 residents live below the poverty level. And we have taken the position that it's not a government program that will mitigate poverty, but that it is economic development, broadening our tax base, providing jobs, making sure that our job pipeline is filled with people who are looking to become a part of the economic fabric of the city of Richmond. And we've also taken the position that we want to redefine our neighborhoods. We want to redevelop poor neighborhoods and provide more affordable housing. We want those public housing areas in the cities to be transformed into income neighborhoods with good schools and community centers. And so in order for us to do that, we're going to need your help. And we recognize that we need to be of help to you and assistance to you. And so this fund is one way that we can make available to you the tools, and that's Peter Chapman's phrase there. He always talks about tools in the toolbox, and it's a good phrase because you have to have the tools to get the job done. And this is a tool that we want you to know is available to you, and $20 million is a nice little piece of change to kind of help us get the ball across the line. So we're delighted that you're here today. We hope that you will listen attentively and take advantage of the opportunity that is being presented. And once again, we look forward to partnering with you as we build a better Richmond. So thanks a lot for being here today.
Thank you, Mayor Jones. Next, I'd like to invite up for a moment Joey Smith, Chairman of the Board for the Economic Development Authority, a great partner and someone standing side by side with us as we keep moving forward here in Richmond.
Good morning. This is a particularly exciting day for me. I've been chairman of the Economic Development Authority for less than a month, so this is really the first project that we've undertaken under my watch. We've partnered with the city on the Redskin facility and the mosque and other projects that have probably garnered more publicity than this will. But this is, in my mind, equally as important because it's about building our city. As the mayor said, it's about attacking our problems of poverty, and it's about getting you to partner with us. And that's really the Economic Development Authority's role. We are a partner with the city. We administer this fund. We're the fiduciary and the closing entity, and our board will have final approval on the disbursement of the money. We really hope that you will take advantage of this. It's a great opportunity. As the mayor said, $20 million is a nice piece of change, and it's something that both the EDA and the city are committed to. So with that, I'll get out of the way and let the people who can tell you how to access this money come up here and do it. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we'd like to start getting into a little bit more of the detail of the program. And first, I'd like to invite up the person who's been here over the years that ECD has really taken off, become more defined, and has really started to build and continues to build its toolbox. So next, I'd like to invite Peter Chapman, DCAO, to come on up and talk to us a little bit about the program.
Thanks, Lee. Am I supposed to do anything with this, or I guess I'm fine. Good morning. It's amazing what a crowd you can draw when you tell folks that you have $20 million in loan capital that you have to get out on the street, especially in this market, although things are picking up. I think Mayor Jones and Lee have done a great job of laying out a big part of the vision, and so I'm not going to talk so much about vision as I am about really how did we get here and why have we arrived at this point. Going back several years when we were basically creating or recreating, as it were, the city's economic development function, one of the things that we realized based on what is occurring, what was occurring in some markets that we decided to benchmark ourselves against in our quest to become a first-tier city or world-class city, as the mayor says, is that in those other markets, to facilitate the sort of change that the mayor and Lee referenced, the comprehensive neighborhood revitalization, the downtown development, the recruitment, the retention of major employers, that the city had to be, the local governments had to be interventionists. They had to be technically proficient, they had to be visionary, and they had to be actively engaged in order to prime the pump, in order to facilitate the good sort of projects that you all deliver. Developers, banks, and others who are involved in primarily creating or recreating a good physical environment. So to that extent, we worked very, very hard on creating a number of financial tools and products, some of which you're seeing emerge. You're seeing them in the works. And so one of the big focuses for us had to be basically restoring the city's credibility with our federal partners, one of which is HUD. I don't know if there's anyone from HUD here today, but these dollars are sourced from HUD. They meaning the Department of Housing and Urban Development, they make these dollars available to cities, but not just any city. You have to have some demonstrated capacity to administer loan programs, to get money out on the street, and to get that money back. And so, long story short, we continue to build our infrastructure in terms of staffing. So what we do is, through very top flight professionals, Ron Johnson, Hugh Jones, both of whom came here from the private sector, is we underwrite all of our deals internally. So we don't ship them off to some other city, we don't ship them off to some other state. We underwrite our deals internally. So the people you see here today are the same folks that you're going to be dealing with. First at the loan committee level, first at the staff level, then the loan committee level, and then ultimately through the EDA. As Joey said, these loans flow through the EDA, and then they get final approval by HUD. But I'm going to let Ron get into the specifics. But, you know, these are extremely important programs to Richmond and to many other cities across the country. And in many instances, but for the presence and availability of these tools, there are certain deals that will not happen. And one last thing that I wanted to be sure to say is that we are not competing with banks. I know we have a number of financial institutions here today, and one of the reasons that the financial institutions like us is because we will partner with them on a per transaction basis. We will subordinate to them, not that we actively look to take a second or third on a transaction, but we will. And that's one of the things that makes us very appealing. And finally, we are not stopping here. This is a huge, huge step for Richmond to be able to put $20 million of HUD-based loan capital into this market. But we are continuing along this path of creating the toolbox. We're expanding the toolbox, as the mayor said. So, for example, you are seeing, in the form of a little office building we're building downtown, Gateway Plaza, you're seeing us utilize, for the first time, a bond-based tax increment finance tool. First time ever. And hopefully sometime this year, we'll have some good news to announce with respect to federal new markets tax credits. It's a rather remote tool, but it's a tool that other big cities have successfully utilized to make good things happen. So, with that said, I will turn the floor over to Ron Johnson, who is the city's chief credit officer. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. First of all, I want to thank everybody for coming out today. This is really a significant day in the history of our city and our mayor administration. We've invited you to come out to let you know that we are willing and able, and I want to repeat that, able to facilitate and to assist you in getting your projects over the finish line. I know most of us have seen the Jerry Maguire movie, Show Me the Money, where Jerry, Tom Cruise in this scene was on the telephone with his key player, and one of the things that, excuse me, that he had to say was, "Show me the money." And initially, he was like a whisper. And Cooper said, "No, I can't hear you." And Tom Cruise would say, "Show me the money." And eventually, Cooper was dancing, everybody remember that scene, and Tom Cruise just screamed at the top of his voice, "Show me the money." The city of Richmond, as everybody before me has indicated, we have $20 million that we want to engage with you in projects to get them over the finish line. This money has been available to us, but one of the things that we pride ourselves on is that we wanted to make sure that we had an infrastructure in place first before we roll or officially launched this out. And to do that, what we did was to put the infrastructure in place, work with the EDA, work with the administration, and we recently got approved a $7 million affordable housing transaction through HUD, first with our Mayor's Loan Committee, through the EDA, and then eventually with HUD. And so we have gone through the steps to get it done, and so our goal today is to find 5 to 7 catalytic economic development and affordable housing projects that we can take to our federal partners and ultimately to the EDA for approval. So one of the things that we'd like to ask you to do as you're leaving today is, if there are projects that you would like to sit down with us and talk about, Hugh Jones is here and he'll be able to get you on our calendar so that we can discuss those. Now, the process is, and we have a fact sheet that's part of the agenda, and I won't go through the fact sheet and all of that, but what I want to do is kind of talk about how we participate in the transaction. As all of you know, you're seasoned developers and real estate professionals. We are what we want called gap financiers. Primarily, we want to participate in a subordinate or mezzanine role to provide you flexible and terms and conditions. We can go out to 20 years in amortizations. Our rates are competitive, and we can be creative if we need to make a deal work. We can play, as Peter indicated, in the new markets tax credit arena. We can be partners in that, historic tax credits, LIHTC, and taxable bond deals that's in front of us. The only exemption to the Section 108 loans is that we cannot be subordinate to tax-exempt financing. The IRS has a rule, and it really is double dipping. So the playing field is wide open to us in terms of assisting you get to the finish line. Couple things related to eligibility with HUD. As Peter indicated, we underwrite on the economics in-house, and so if you pass the economic test, then one of the things we do is we go to HUD and we actually make the case for the deal. And the couple things that HUD is looking for. This program has a national objective to benefit low and moderate income persons. And so how do you do that? We do that through the creation of jobs. In some cases, if it's a retention of jobs, that's important. And on the housing side, we develop low to moderate income housing, which we call, which is 80% of the area median income, which is sometimes called workforce housing. And on the job creation side, it's for every 50,000 you borrow, we have to create one job. So we look at it for $1 million deal with us, 20 jobs. And of those jobs, we have 51% of those have to be afforded to offer to low to moderate income persons. So HUD, as well as us, we understand the economic impact and that you have to, also the economics have to work. So there is, market rate housing and housing transaction that can be part of that. Some of the activities, acquisition of real estate, economic development projects, we really are looking for retail projects in our city. We have some food deserts. We're looking, for folks that are developing shopping centers or strip centers and can bring grocery stores to our community. On the affordable housing side, rehabilitation of existing housing stock. We can do new construction. And so there's a whole gamut of projects that we can get involved in. We are excited about 108. We're excited about the opportunity to participate in economic development in our city. Again, I go back to showing me the money. We as bankers, I was a banker for 25 years before I came to the city. And as you guys know, the first thing we ask you is how much skin you got in the game. I mean, before you come, how much skin do you have? Historically, in our city, we were kind of passive. We promoted it, but we didn't have any capital to display. As of today, we can actually participate fully with you in bringing your projects to fruition. I think that's it for me. Basically, we want to do business with you guys. We're willing and we're able. And we look forward to putting together 5 to 7 transformative real estate projects, both in economic development and affordable housing in the next 12 to 24 months in our city. And thank you very much.
I want to thank everybody for being here today. Actually, let the train go by for a minute. And as you leave, be sure that you make sure we have your contact information, your email specifically, because as Ron said, I think what we'll do is follow up with some of the answers and additional information that comes out of the meeting. We can do an email blast out. So make sure before you leave we have that. I want to take this chance while we're here to talk about one other tool. The city has been awarded I'm going to read this out because I want to make sure I get it right. 2013 EPA Brownfield Assessment Grant for Petroleum and Toxic Substance Grants. The city was awarded 2 of these, and the grant covers the entire city. It's intended to cover phase 1 and phase 2 environmental site assessment studies. It's a 3-year grant. And I want to point out Elizabeth Coker in the back, if she'll stand up. If you want to learn more about these grants, she's the expert on it. She can tell you more detail what they're about and how perhaps to gain some access to them. So be sure to stop and talk to her on the way out. And I want to thank everybody for being here today. It's an exciting day to talk about yet another way to do economic development in the city, and to continue on with what we see happening all around us. So please, please, please stop, talk to us about your projects. We want to hear, we want to see. Even if it's not this tool, we have other tools in the toolbox that we can talk about. So be sure to talk to me, Peter, Ron, Hugh. We talked about Hugh. If you'll stand up just so people can be able to recognize you. And talk to us about your projects, whatever they are. We want to help with growth in the city. Even if it's not this fund, we have other funds, we have other ways to help you, and we want to make sure that you get the help you need. And like I say, we want to be partners with you. We want to see growth continue. We want to be out there in the field making more of this construction happen. So when you walk out of the room today, make sure you have our contact information and get in touch whenever you need us. And with that, I want to break up and let you have some time to network and ask questions. And thanks for being here.